Hey guys, how's it really? Afternoon, Anna Marie and Dirk. And tonight, just made you co-host, okay? So yeah, if it gets a bit hectic, I'm admitting them as we speak, but it gets a bit hectic, you can just sort of click the admit. Okay. Wait a couple of more moments. Been a bit quiet, the Brent trade we had this morning, repeated one, which seems to start to try to come right at last. But that's not what it's about. As we mentioned, Anna Marie, if you want to do gold, do it before $3 above or below. But I'm going to concentrate on the euro dollar for this particular straddle trade, guys. Straddle trade. Okay, I would think that's the better. I don't want to discourage someone's comfort off doing something in case that works out better. But that's good. How's it, Tony? Start a little bit early because you want the people to come in and settle down before we get going. How's it, Brian? As I say, you can unmute and ask questions or on the chat line, no problem at all. If I get a lot of background noise, I'll just have to mute everybody. But then if they want to speak, I'll unmute. It's easier that. Straightforward. Okay. Okay, Clinton, have you got it now? So I'm going to start speaking. So if they join in, I'm not going to be admitting. If you could just do that for me, I made you co-host. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Right. Let's see where we are now. Euro dollar, we're using this one because obviously it's dollar related. It's a US CPI. You all know what that means? Consumer Price Index. What's interesting about it is because inflation is a big worry at the moment. You will probably know. Just a second, just check to see what the expected is. I'm just going to take a couple of moments just to give you the US economic, not the US, sorry, the economic calendar. Okay. I'm also going to post for you guys who don't have it, is the dollar index. Keep it, save it, minimize it when you're trading. Both important. Okay. Now, the dollar index, sorry, not dollar, economic calendar. So I'm trying to do three things at once. Sorry about that. Right. Expected is coming out, the release is coming out 2:30. And as expected is the core CPI is 5.5% the year. And the year on the normal CPI, for whatever, is 6% expected. Now, what is the difference? CPI, Consumer Price Index, obviously increase the prices over the whole area. The core CPI is the CPI excluding what I call F&F, food and fuel, so energy and food prices. So the more interesting one, in my opinion, is the non-core CPI, because food inflation can obviously have a big effect, and so can the price of oil, etc. So if it's inflation, we don't know what the take's going to be after Easter figures, but the considered opinion, if the figures come in higher than expected, it would be looked at as inflationary, common sense, clearly, prices are going up. So that might put, or thought be put on the chairman, on the Federal Reserve. The chairman's a guy called Jerome Powell, to actually increase interest rates, maybe at 0.5% or even 0.75%, depending how it comes out. At the moment, it's expected to be a 0.25% increase later on in the month. If it's lower than the expected, then the looks like the measures against inflation seem to be working, and that will be considered at maybe less pressure on interest rate hikes, slow them down, and even maybe decrease later in the year. Those sort of thoughts will be behind the traders when the data is released. So it doesn't always work as expected, but the theory is if it's higher than expected, we expect a stronger dollar. If it's lower than expected, it'll be then expectation will be a weaker dollar. Now, because we're doing not the dollar euro, but the euro dollar, that way around. If a dollar strengthens, the price of the euro dollar will come down. If the dollar weakens, then the euro strengthens, go up, if you get my point. So just don't get it right way around. Dollar strength means it goes down, dollar weakness means it goes up, because the euro is the base currency. Just get your head around that. I know you know it, but just to make sure. Okay, so what's the other alternative? We could come out exactly like last month as expected. Then that might be considered a little bit on the negative side, because they want to see an improvement. But then again, it depends what the market will deduce from that. The issue is, if it comes out like last month, exactly expected, we can sometimes confuse the price action a little bit. Just be aware of that. However, we did 10 pips last time. I'm suggesting you do a 15 pip straddle trade above and a 15 pips order, pending order below the market. So I'm order up here and order up here. We have buy stop up here, sell stop down here. We did 10 pips last time. We're doing 15 pips this time. Why the change? Because I don't know what's going to happen. It comes out. There's a radical difference. It might get a knee-jerk reaction where you have a gap opening at the turn of the candle at 2:30. And the last thing we want to do is it suddenly jumps up and opens up there and continues up. You're not on board because your entry was here, open there. So your position will not get filled. We don't want that. We want it to get filled and then take it up there, and then we close this one, or get filled and take it down there, then we close this one. So we're going to put 2 orders in, or you're going to put 2 orders in, not now, repeat, not now. Just within about 25, 26 minutes past 2, The reason being is it's going to be slow moving, waiting for the release of the data, but we don't want either one of those orders to get filled before the release of the data. So put it fairly close. But it takes time, especially if you're not that practiced, to put it in. Give yourself 3-4 minutes. 15 pips should be quiet. We shouldn't get filled on that because it's going to be fairly quiet trading going to that time. So that shouldn't be a problem. So you can start at maybe about 25 past 2 to put the order in. So we don't want you to rush it. We don't want guys, most of them say they did do okay or whatever, and 1 or 2 didn't because they didn't have time to put the order in or put half order in or whatever. Now, this is not a buy trade or a sell trade. Doesn't matter in the euro dollar or you're not in the euro dollar as we sit here. Irrelevant. That's a completely separate trade. You might be long or short the euro dollar. Stop loss TP, that's your strategy. This is completely separate. It's not a buy trade or a sell trade. It's a buy stop, sell stop, depending on what may happen when the figures are released. When you do that, you do not put a stop loss in. What you do is, if that particular order is filled and goes up, you immediately cancel, delete the other order. And if you want to put a stop loss in, you can, or you can go and just open up your close and have it in there. So in other words, you go to on there and you double click on your trade or whatever, and then a box comes up and it says the yellow bar close or whatever. Don't keep your arrow near in case you close it by mistake. You go over there somewhere and then watch it. If you panic and close it, you can do so, or if you've got time to put a stop loss in, you can do. At entry or something, it keeps moving. It comes back, stops you, at least you haven't lost. But the major point is, I reiterate, if it goes up, you close the non-filled order. If it goes down, you close this order. Okay, hope we're all on the same page. If you don't know, ask, we'll do it again. We've got a few minutes to do it. That's why I started a little bit earlier. Still to go do it? No, we do it again. If it gets close to the time, I haven't got time to do it again because everyone's replaced the orders. Well, you'll have to join me for the non-farm coming up in the first week of April on the Friday. Have another bash at it then. I don't think it's complicated because I've done it a few times. When you first do it, it might seem so. So we're going to put the order in now. You've got the euro dollar up. Now, the next thing you've got to do is you've got to know what volume. You can't start saying, hi, Roger, what volume should I put in? I've got time to check out what money you got, what your risk profile, etc. And quite honestly, that is your responsibility of what your budget puts into risk. So I'll say, I hope you can work it out for maths yourself. On the euro dollar, I'm saying you can risk, make it 80 Rand, 80 Rand a micro. So you know what you're prepared to risk. You've got enough mathematical intelligence to be able to work it out. So don't, if you've got 50 grand in your bank account, you put in 0.01, that's a micro. Why would you do that? So you've got to say, what am I prepared to risk this trade? Everyone in here should have at least 2.5 grand or upwards or equivalent in dollars. So that means you've got 2 or 3 grand, you probably want to risk about 240 rand, 250 rand. So 80 rand into 240 is 3. So you put in 3. If you got 5,000, you put in 6. If you got 10,000, you put in 12 micros or 0.12. This is not the time to teach you how to do basic arithmetic or what the difference in the million and micro is. This is when you come in here, you expect to already have that knowledge. Okay. Are we on the same page? So 80 bucks, work out your volume. Now, let's, for argument's sake, you want to risk 500 rand because you got a 6, 7, 8 rand account or whatever it happens to be. Just get the season in the way now. Right, so you go to the euro dollar, you double click, and you change from market execution to pending order. Then you go to your type and you go to the buy stop and you put the price, which is going to be 15 pips above the market on the buy side, not on the sell, the buy. Notice, however, it doesn't matter too much because unlike the NAS and the Dow, whatever, it's a pretty tight spread. It's only about 1.5 pips. That's quite a nice part. So if you want to risk, let's say 500. What's 8 into 500? 8 6 is a 48. 7 8 is a 56. So you round it down. You put in 6. So just your volume. I'll leave it at 5 because I want you to get the idea. Don't follow me parrot factor. Work your own volume. Once you know your volume, put your volume in. Then you're going to put a price. What is it now? Call it 1.0720 for argument's sake. You're moving around a bit. So I'm going to now put in 15 above that. So it's going to be 1.07. What's 15 and 20 is 35. Got it? Therefore, I've got that placed order. I click the place button and it now sits in the market. What's 15 pips above there? You can have it on the 50, on the daily. It's a bit clearer. Maybe they are, probably should be out. It's a bit clearer. 15, that's 135. Where's that? So there's your placed order. You can see it there, 15 pips above the market. Not now, obviously, but when you place it, you'll see the buy stop sitting there. I'll put it in now, just to give you an idea. So pretend it's in now. I'll put it on here to get it. So pretend that says buy stop. There we are, a 1.0735. That's your buy stop. Then you go back to the Eurodollar and you then go to market execution and you change it to pending order. This time you put in a sell stop. Your volumes will remain the same, obviously, and then you put in 15 pips below. So it'll be 07. 15 pips from 19 is going to be 04, correct? So you put in 04 and then you place the order. Click on the place, you place the order, little thing will come up here, we should do. So pretend that's one there, so you get an idea, 1.704. That's all, no stops, nada. So that's some buy stop, sell stop, and that's the market price at the moment. Then you do this about 5 minutes or so before the release of the figures, giving you a couple of minutes time to put it properly in, not buy limit, buy stop, sell stop. Now it sits there. The data then is released. Nothing might happen, a little bit might happen, we don't know. Knee-jerk reaction, I don't know, nobody knows. Let's say it comes favorable for the dollar, which means the dollar's going to strengthen and that jumps down. Hopefully it will take you in, it jumps down here. The longer the better, the more profitable. Immediately you go and cancel that order, delete it, whatever words you want to use, get rid of that opposite order. And then if you're doing nicely, you can put a stop loss in just around there if you like, or you can open up the close thing, keep your mouse out the way and have it sitting there and just close it if you want, or let it run, or put in the stop loss and modify. You can actually drag the stop loss down, by the way. Modify, don't get it too close, and see if you can maximize profit that way. If it goes shooting up there somewhere and it fills you in there, immediately close that one. And then if you have time to put the stop loss in, you can. If you don't have time, more important the stop at the target, by the way. If you don't have time, just have your close handy. So it's sitting there ready to rock and roll. And then you just, if you get nervous, click on the close. If you're out too early, never mind, as long as you make a profit. We've done this a couple of times, it's been pretty good. The only times it hasn't is usually because the trader not get the mechanics correctly and put the wrong information in. If you put in Roger instead of George, for instance, Roger gets called, not George. You've got to get the right info in. Okay, that is the that's how the trade goes. Shoots up. First thing you do, cancel the opposite order, and then get ready either close it or put a stop loss and move it up and run it. It could be hectic, it could be quiet. We don't know. So you got to be on it. If, however, just a second, the opposite occurs and it comes shooting down, immediately close this one and let that run. And if you have time to put a stop loss in, close. I don't know the speed. It could be jumping on, anything could happen. Remember how it works. Lots of people will be doing this. Some people put in too big an order, especially institutions, and you can get a bigger reaction. Sometimes the micros, high-speed traders, close some of them, get a reaction, etc. Just keep an eye on it. On your other screen, or minimizing that to screen, just keep an eye on the release of the CPI data. If it's drastically different, it might come, let's say it comes down this way, drastically different, might get a bit of profit taken, but don't panic to close it, because it might have a bit of profit taken before it comes off further. You've got to work that out. Most times, first time, you might get out a little bit early, as long as you make a profit, as long as you learn by it, and as long as you're mentally on it. It's not a question of having a laid-back attitude when the release of the figures, because it could be quite fun. Sometimes be very fast, sometimes be disappointing. We don't know till the release. Solomon, I don't know. This is the whole point. I haven't the slightest clue. Nobody knows. That's why we buy stop, sell stop. If we knew, why would we ever sell stop? We put the order in now and hopefully it'd be great. We don't know, so we put a buy stop, sell stop. We don't know. You get the idea. 15 pips above and below the market. Now, how many pips? I don't know. I don't know, Tim. You've done this before. The volume is 80 Rand per 0.01. You work out your own volume or position size. The amount of pips it moves, we don't know. I can't rephrase it. I know how to put it in a way. We don't know. That's why we do a buy stop, sell stop. If it shoots up, this order's taken in, you run with it, and you delete this one. If it shoots off, we exit that one and you run with that one. Does anybody not understand that? Has everybody got it? If you haven't, you want to do the trade, I'll quite happily go through the mechanics again. You must be on it, and you must do what those guys have done, ask these questions, and I know you know or don't know. People like Dirk and that should know because they've done it before. I'm more concerned about the new guys getting the concept. Because it's a little bit out of the box, the human site suddenly shuts down. It's not slightly different. Not a buy trade or a sell trade, it's a straddle trade. So you don't worry about SLs or TPs, you only put that in afterwards to release the figures depending on which order kicks in. Delete the opposite order. Any worries on that one? No, don't do the Dow Jones because it's a completely different story because the spread is much wider. Use the euro dollar. That can be done with the Dow, but that's another ball game. I want the guys to start walking before they start running. So we'll stick with the euro dollar. Because it gets guys saying, what's the spread? And then that's just not the time to go into that, you know. Well, that's just stick with this. Okay, euro dollar. 2:30 on the dot. 2:30 on the dot, the release of the. Okay, not a problem. You didn't get it correctly. Do not put the order in now. I want you to know how to put it on. Write it down. Be 15 pips above the below. Put it down now. We've now got another 20 minutes. We're putting it at 2:25. Not 20 seconds to go, long guy did last week. Then you got half the order in. Put in just around about 25, 26 minutes past, so you got the right order. We do it again. Buy stop, sell stop. We're going to put in a trade just above the market and just below the market. So you go and double click on the euro dollar, have it on the 1 hour. You change from market execution to pending order. You change the buy limit to the buy stop, and then you put your volume in. You choose what it is. Okay, I've given the parameters. $80 a micro. You choose it. Everybody in this room should have over 2.5. That's what it's been marked to. It's not been marked to the demo accounts for the guys with no money, because then they're taking up seats. They can be precious. We're all up to 95. You can only take around about 100. You don't want to be guys not being able to enter with some guy with no money coming on for the ride. No, it's the guys who've got a couple of bucks. So it's probably about 5 micros upwards, depending on the size of your account. Once you got the volume in, you put in 15 above the market order. 15 and 25 is 40. So you put in 1.0740. Okay? Right in there, sorry. 1.0740. And then when you've done that, you place the order and it'll come above the market like see the buy stop there. It'll come down in your toolbox here as well. Right, on your trade. Then you go to the, you do the same thing. Right, then you go to the order, and then you put this time a sell stop, not sell limit, a sell stop. And then you put a price 15 pips below this one here. That's 1.0710. 1.0710. Got it? And then you place the order. Now you see that order there, and it sits there. Don't do it now. Do it about 25 past. Give yourself a couple of minutes to make sure you press the right button. You don't want to be rushed and in stress because the release is coming out in a few seconds. So start placing your order past, and it should be far enough away that it's not going to get filled. Now you've got that order in. If release comes out, anything could happen. We don't know. So what is this? So what happens now is, yeah, where was I? Yeah, if it shoots up, this order hopefully will be filled. You delete this order because that wasn't filled. You don't just leave it lying there. If it shoots down and fills this order and you're in the market, you delete that. Right, so now you got it, let's say, coming down, delete the opposite order. Then, if you've got time, it's not too quick, you can put a stop loss in, let's say, just better, slightly better, maybe a few better than the actual entry price to secure costs, and maybe a grand or two profit. I don't know, in case it comes back and stops you out. Running nicely, you can have go to your, go to your trade there, double click, and make sure we normally close manually. That box comes up. There's a yellow bar saying close. Have that handy, but keep your mouse away from you. Click it by mistake. Have it handy over there. Suddenly you want to get out, just quick lock, click on it, and you're out the market. Are we on the same one? Time frame's irrelevant. I'm just putting on out. You can see the movements clearer. Don't worry about the time frame. Right, 15 pips, Nico. The reason being, CPI, it could have big effect if it's radically different. And if it jumps on opening above the 10 pip movement, your order might not get filled. Remember, when you go in the market, buy or sell, someone's got to be there to buy or sell it to you. And if there's no buyer and sellers at that level, you're not going to get your order filled. Okay, so I'm just choosing 15 pips in this particular case. If it works out, 5 pips less profit, but rather that than shoots off in the direction and you're not on board. Okay, right. Okay, so are we all good with that? We've got another 10 minutes before we place it, so I go through it again. Are we all good with this? Any questions? Like the other two guys they asked and was answered. Because one covers the other. And we don't want to get suddenly stopped down a bit of noise by taking another order in. That one will cover that. If it shoots up, you'll put in the stop loss manually afterwards. You don't need it because that one is your stop loss, the sell order. You only put it in afterwards. And then you want to put in the stop loss as you did last time, Mark, round about the end, just better, and then ride it till whatever, or modify going along, or close it, or whatever. Because if it does suddenly go up and whiplash down, you're in two anyway. One hedges the other automatically. Okay, any questions on that? Are we all good? We hadn't happened that often. You got a 50. Remember, that order is 30 pips away from that. It might, but that's pretty drastic. Nothing's 100%. I shouldn't panic on that. Ever since which time frame, that's irrelevant. I'm just putting it out now. You can put 50 minutes if you like. The problem is it's near the top there. You can't see what's going on. That's the only reason put an hour on. If the price action was halfway down the chart, 15 minutes going, this is like zooming in and out. No other reason. It's nothing to do with an hour daily or whatever. It's just so you can see the movement. You're good. Fantastic. Okay. Got the mechanics of the trade. Get the stage of people joining now. I can do it one at a time. They don't want any time for them to get it. And if they're a bit slow on getting the mass of it, they won't have enough time to go through it again to make sure. So like most things, it does help if people can come in timelessly so they don't miss the trade potential. It doesn't work, it works out not so well. Probably just as well or late, but we're thinking hopefully it's going to work out. So any guys? Okay, got it, Mark. Yeah, I don't want to get too complicated. A lot of guys very new in here, and then they're going to start thinking, what the hell's he on about? Confused. It's another point, please, guys, please, I beg you. Those who don't join the trade, go to it. People are trading blind. You've got to know the practical aspects. Mark comes in regularly. I hope he's going to back me on that. He's got about 50 rand left. If he hadn't been to trade, he wouldn't have any money left. Oh, no, I'm not joking. Mark and I know each other. We see each other. All in fun. Yeah, you will come right if you make the effort to pick it out. Absolutely. The tools are here. You've got to use them. Right. Right.
Hello, Dr. Roger. Brian here.
Yeah, Brian, go for it. You've got to be quick on this because somebody might want another demonstration of straddle trade. We've got to go a few minutes. So go for it, Brian. Go for it. Come on, speed up. What do you want? Quickly. Hello?
Hello, Dr. Roger.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, what do you want? It's busy.
No, I'm okay. Just saying I'm here.
Oh, I know you're here. Let's see it. Okay, no problem. Fine. Yeah. Okay. Now, anybody else not know that the straddle trade, the mechanics of it? Because I've got just time to do it one more time. Anybody there still want me to do it one more time? I don't wait half an hour to put yes or no in. I need a reaction on this. Yes or no? Does anybody there want to go through another time? Right. You have the euro dollar up. I've bet for 1 hour. Then you go to the euro dollar. One more time, no from Israel. Go to the euro dollar, double click. Just remind me, Clinton, if I get carried away, it gets to 25 past, and we've got to get the guys in the order. I might be still waffling on. Right. Market execution, pending order. Then you put in the buy stop. Then you work out the volume. I don't know what money you got. There shouldn't be anybody in here who's got less than 2.5 grand, because you're taking up seats for people who do have that money. So you should have money in your account. If you've got a few hundred rand, you shouldn't be here because you won't be able to do it anyway. So I would say the minimum position size would be about 5 micros, maybe 4, 80 rand. What do you spend? What your risk? Maybe if you want to risk 300 rand, maybe you can put in 3 micros or 4, something like that. Because 80 rand a micro, you do the maths, you work out your volume size. Put that in, it's up to you. Then you do 15 pips above that price, whatever it happens to be. Pretend it says 107.25. Doesn't really matter. Add 15 pips to that number there. Not this little figure here. This is the big ones here. That's points after pips. That says 107.30. So what's 15 on top of that? It'll be 1.0745. Never mind the 5th decimal place. It's the order. Place the order. Then you go and do it again. This time it'll be a sell stop. Go to market execution. Pending order. Put in this time a sell stop, make sure your volume's correct, and you do it 15 pips below this one. What's that? 29 minus 15, what, 4, isn't it? 14? Yeah, 14. 1.0714, and then you place the order. Now you've done that. You've got an order above the market and an order below. Buy stop, sell stop. Make sure now they're filled. If you do it in 5 minutes' time, it shouldn't be. And then hopefully we'll get a decent differential. It could cause some problems. It comes out expected. It's a big difference. One side hopefully will kick in, that order's filled, delete that. Or it shoots down, delete that order and run with this one. So delete the unfilled order. Okay. Simple as that. Once you're in, then you can put your stop loss in if you so want, and you've got time, or you can go to your toolbox, double click and open up the box you normally exit with. If you don't know how to close a deal, don't even think of being here. You cannot trade, you don't know how to operate the platform. Don't be a fundy on it like Mr. Clinton, but at least you've got to know how to close, open and orders, that sort of thing. And you have the little box there, you know the one, there's a little bar there, yellow bar at the bottom, and have it ready if it's going very fast. You start to panic, it rushes back, you can just click and you're out. Or if it's going fairly slowly, you've got your stop loss in, you don't have to go to the toolbox to open up or, to modify. You can drag it down. You just drag it down like this. Hold it down and drag it down if you want, or the other way around. Are we all on it now? Because you should be. It's getting up time now to replace it. A couple of minutes. We can do a bit of question and answer next 4 minutes before you guys are going to be busy concentrating placing the order. We don't want you to be distracted while you're placing it. You put in the wrong order, etc., and that can come back and bite. We had a couple of instances last time where guys didn't make money out of it, and I couldn't understand why. It turned out they didn't put the right data into their machine. I would say about 25 past. The reason why do it now, if you don't, but this is moving around still. Well, so about 25. That's one of the reasons. The other is we don't want the order to get filled. If you put it in, let's say half an hour ago, and it was, and the order gets, one of the sides gets filled and the movement of the market leading up to that release, that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be in the market until the release at past. Are we on the same wavelength? Are we on the same idea? Do you understand all this? Because it's important. That's why I'm going on a little bit about it. It's for your sake. I hate it. You guys should have made a big profit and they didn't, because they didn't fully understand or they clicked on the wrong button. We've all done it myself many times, and it's very frustrating. And you get, I don't know, Sipu there makes one, and poor old Lola misses out and highly upset because we put the wrong one in. Okay, so somebody's WhatsApp didn't put the order in. I don't know what he's talking about. How I'm most direct. Somebody WhatsApp you and says, I didn't put the order in. What's that supposed to mean? You've got to give full data, preferably on the chat line, not sending a WhatsApp through in the middle of doing this, because I can't stop everything and have a look at it. And then I've got to pull out the data from the person, wondering what he's trying to say. And he says, it missed it, kick me out. Well, shame, but I mean, you know, I've got to do this, come into the room and see how it's done. Need data for it, you know. Okay, so all clear on that. Yeah, it's New York, yeah. That's why it's released 3:30. Like non-farms will be 2:30 next month, not 3:30. The American market's 3:30. This will be opened at 2:30. It depends what leverage you want, as long as you're comfortable with the risk involved. The only thing with if you want to take a higher risk and you haven't got a hell of a lot of money in your account, the higher leverage means you can take the trade because your leverage is higher. We know the margin deposit is lower. Otherwise, it's not really that relevant. The only really reason of decent leverage is the fact you're waiting for your 50 grand to come through for your fixed deposits, and you can afford to take a bigger position, but you can't because the deposit is too high of a lower leverage account. On the higher leverage, you can go for it. And if you do lose out, you can handle it because you're expecting extra money. It's not trying to eke something out of nothing, right? Because with a small amount of money and more leverage, so I can go bigger positions. That's not the way to do it.
Hi, Roger. Okay, it's 25 past.
25 past, thanks, Clinton. Right, guys, you know the mechanics now. I haven't got time to issue that data again. I'm going to just say a minute's silence. That's going to be difficult for me. Clinton's probably laughing when I say that. But I want you to concentrate now, putting the proper information in. It's too late from the trading room now for me to go to the mechanics now. You've missed it. You've got to be on time. You've got to understand it. Otherwise, it's too late now. Sorry, guys. Quiet now. Let you put the order in. You need to concentrate. We're set to go. Fiona. Good stuff. Ready for action. I like it. Like it. Hope we get some. Hate is a damn squib. Like Russia to party and suddenly find that there's no alcohol and no drugs and no rock and roll, eh? No sex and drugs and rock and roll, as the old song goes. On straight Sander, make sure the full straddle trade's in there and sits there, and then we just wait for the release. Getting your knees and break. I'm going to bloody damp scribble. This shit whiplash putting frightens in Mr. Mark. Let's leave that one alone. Without doing that, I have to put my number down. Some people might have it. Watch trading support. That's the WhatsApp number. So at least you can WhatsApp directly trading if you haven't got it, but not on how to open an account or tech problem. My technology is not the greatest. Or somebody to do a stock market college, nothing to do with me, purely on trading. I am licensed to give advice, by the way, so you can ask. Hopefully it's good advice. I do my best. Couple of minutes to go. Hope you all got your trades in. Any of you not got the trade in, make sure you got in. If you haven't, delete them all. We don't want your half trade in. Can't have a half cop situation. I expect that you, Dirk. You've done it before. Want the more the newer guys, make sure they got it. Who we got here? Who we got here? Bardenise Comfort. Isn't that the lady who's the rock star? Missed you last time. I've got the right person. Hi, that's right. I missed your gig last time. Couldn't believe it. I can't remember why, but don't forget me. If you make some decent Tom on there, then remind to send me a nice little of which your next gig is. And I can get your autograph for free then, you see. Coming out. There we are. It's coming out. Let's see if any's getting filled here. Tell you what the figures came out in. It seems a bit damp squib so far, a bit disappointing. 5.5 exactly the same. 4 slightly higher. Year on year exactly the same. Everything's virtually exactly the same. So it might be disappointing. Might not get filled. Very, very disappointing. I said that was the worry. It might be a complete sort of anticlimax if it doesn't get filled. Because of that, it might be an idea to delete both of them. It doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. So it might be safer. The cell's filled, okay. Okay, it's been hit, okay. Well then delete your other order, delete your long order, and hope it comes back, because this is the worst scenario. It comes out as expected. In theory, it might work for a slightly stronger dollar because it wanted inflation to come down. It's come out exactly expected. That's the worst case. We wanted to come out a different, a radical difference. But delete the other one, and this time you can put a stop in because you're not quite sure what's happening here. Don't know what price you got filled in, but maybe give it about a 50 pip stop loss or something like that. Try and give you a stop loss if you want to put one in. You might come right with it. Yeah, maybe put a stop loss at 1.0770. If it hits it, you take a loss. That happens. Nothing's guaranteed, but the disappointment is it came out as expected. But make sure you buy orders, otherwise you're too going, you know, you hedge. Cancel your buy order. Nothing filled, cancel them both. Nicker, if you're not filled, cancel them both. Anything could happen now. If you're in, put a stop in and cancel the other one. But make sure you cancel them both if you're not filled. But that's the worst case scenario. As I mentioned, if it's exactly as expected. Because I've seen this thing move 150 pips very profitably. That's why I say we don't know until the releases come about. I think overall, even though it's moving up now, I still think it might have a bit of a stronger dollar coming forth. From that, we'll see. A bit worried about the banking. Now the dollar's come off a bit of a pity. I think a lot of interference of this is the banking faded. We had on Silicon Valley Bank going bang. Bit disappointing actually, but an anti-climax. So I didn't for this for that money. Okay, we got that, guys. If you're not filled, rather cancel both. Cancel the one the closest to first, then the other one. So at least you're not in. And those who were filled maybe had a stop. Some earned, some aren't. I'm quite sure how that worked. Because you should have had more or less the same buy, stop, sell, stop position. But never mind. If you are in, put a stop in and protect. Not sure it's going to go that high, so hopefully you'll be all right. All got that? All on the same page with me? Okay. As you're doing that, if you're not in, cancel both. If you are in, put a stop in, protect you, maybe 107.70, something like that. We can't take a hiding. Anyway, take a hiding, you're overexposed. The movement is not big enough to anybody there to take a hiding. If you have, you went in with a completely incorrect volume. You must get these volumes sorted out. Nobody can take a hiding on that kind of movement unless you're wrong in your volumes. Nico, okay. Okay, any questions? Yeah, now you put the stop loss in and protect you, yeah. So yeah, put it as if it's a normal trade now. Any questions? Anything you're not sure of? Well, you need to get a backup router or something. You can't trade if you haven't got Wi-Fi. So get a backup. Any other questions? Just go over it. Any feedback? Might come right this one. Keep your fingers crossed. But it might be slow and normal. But the guys who got taken in on the sell stop, it might come right. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, I know you can see that's moving down again. Yeah. Any questions? All good, Mark? What about the other guys? Okay. All right, finally, even indices are quiet. Yeah, they'll all be a bit quiet as expected. Depends on how the market reads it. Still got Brent. What's Brent doing? Just hovering a little bit around the 39 mark, not as much today. Okay, no problem, Nico. Yeah, well, don't say you're taking a knock. It's I don't know how you took a knock. I don't understand that. I mean, if the sell stop was, you're in on the sell stop, you should be breaking even now for the original figures. In fact, you might have made a couple of bits profit. And your buy stop would immediately been, like I said, about 50 times, deleted. So nobody so far, well, the figures I've got in the chart should have taken a knock. There you are, Dirk. So how can you take the knock? So clearly people are not getting the mechanics of this, because if you did it exactly as I said, at where you are at this particular moment, you should be like Dirk, maybe a pip or so in profit. You shouldn't be taking a knock. If you took a hiding, you put the wrong figures, you did the wrong thing, you put the wrong volumes. I don't quite know what happened, so I clearly can't see that. But that shouldn't have occurred to anybody. That's not the market's fault. That's something you pressed some wrong button. I don't know what you did. Okay. Yeah, well, it came out exactly as expected. I mentioned that on purpose to allay those fears. There's no reason why I should shot up there and down there. You know, it came out as expected. In fact, coming out as expected can be considered fairly disappointing which might have a little bit of effect positive on the dollar. But again, the market's not sure what to make of it. That's why it's hovering around. But you're okay. There's no need to panic. When you're panicking, you're not thinking straight. You've got your volumes correct. So you know before you went in what your maximum risk was. I said if you got 5, your maximum risk should be in the region where your stop loss is, probably, I don't know, whatever it is. 50, 60 pips a day, what's that? That's about, what's that? It's 10 cents a pip times 50 cents a pip. 50, about $2.5, $3, something, whatever it is. It should be, so if you got, you shouldn't have made a whopping loss. I can't get my head around this. You shouldn't have done that. Even if you got stopped out down there at about the 0.0, what on the day chart, sorry. Even if you got stopped out round about 1.0770, where I suggest the stop loss is, it should be well within the parameters of your risk management strategy. It won't when people say big loss or whopping loss or whatever, and clearly they've done something incorrectly. Yeah. Yeah, I looked at the 4 of them. Yeah, there's only one slightly different. That was spot on, and the other one was such a minute difference. So let it run around. Let it run around a bit. So, guys, those who delete both orders you're not in, that's fine. I hope you got the idea. We do it again for the non-farms coming up on the first Friday next month, and we do the next CPI and see how it would work. They work more times than they don't, and if it doesn't like this time, it's not really been a total disaster. It's more of a disappointment. But I can't predict what the market figures will be clearly. Okay. So those who didn't enter the market, that's fine. Sit back, relax. Those who didn't, I'm assuming you close the opposite order and you're sitting with, well, if you took it on your sell stop, should be in. You shouldn't have been taking the buy stop. You should have closed that when the movement came out immediately. So if you are, it should be listening. Okay, now I can relax a bit. Any questions? Some of the people first time here. Anything want to go over? Make sure it's all clear. Someone's joining now. Why are they joining now? I do not know. Okay, it's the first time I think, Lona. So you got the idea and it seems good. Well done, well done. Okay, I'm coming back on again at 4 if you're going to be there, Anne-Marie. Otherwise, I'll catch you tomorrow. No, not the PPI brand. No. That's fine. That's fine. Delete your. That's fine. Okay, so Matt. It was in it ran zone to close the sell stop and gone. I stop. Don't understand that. Not quite sure. I've no idea. Maybe Clinton will help you on that one, Morris. No idea. Yeah, well, that's the point. I forgot about gold. Very much. Definitely will affect gold, but probably not much because it will be a bit disappointing. I see a bit of downside coming in gold, actually. See gold jumped around a bit, but I think gold's a bit overcooked at the moment. The only thing it does worry me a little bit gold is the fear factor aspect. And if there's more worry about these banks, probably the banks probably will be a bit more upward on gold. I'm still not comfortable to trade at the moment. There's too many emotional fear factors involved with this particular instrument that it could come falling back or it could go further up. I think best to leave this one alone for the moment. Having said that, I'm looking at the screen now, and I see the dollar is beginning to fall quite a bit. It's now down at 103.55. That means the gold should go up. It should mean the NAS and the Dow should go up, and probably shares opens a bit higher, lower, and etc. It means obviously euro dollar trade might start to go up a bit because the dollar weakens, euro clearly strengthen. So make sure you're protected with your stop if you got into the order. No problem, Luke. Good stuff. Thanks, Knowledge. Not quite sure how it disappeared. Same story. See that again. My buy stop disappeared. It was in it ran zone to close the sell stop. It was gone, and then clicked on the buy stop. It disappeared. Got me on that one. Any idea what that could mean, Clinton? You see, Maris, what he said there?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm just busy checking on the journal.
Okay, thanks, because obviously I can't do that. You've got the screen up. You've got access to that. Okay, I'm not quite sure that happened. Thank you, Clinton. No problem, Dirk. Okay. Just sort of 15 minutes, see a bit clearer. Still very decisive, and the dollar's starting to push up a bit. What's happening, guys, is when it comes out expected, the market doesn't know what to make of it. That's why it's a little bit sort of running around like like a chicken with his head off. Shame. But yeah, it's not quite sure what to do. That's what the market is telling you right now. Is this good news or bad news? We have no clue. It's the price action is a result of that. Thank you, Ken. Stick with it. It's not sometimes damp squibs, sometimes they're brilliant. When they're brilliant, it's so worthwhile. A lot of people did very well out of the non-farm payrolls when the weekend with a big smile on their face. Okay, guys, don't forget, if you want to enhance your trading skills, join the trading room. You know the obviously ID. It's on every day except Friday afternoon and the weekend. I'll be going on a shortened version at 4 o'clock after we finish this one. And yeah, there we go. But if you can, it's very important. Trading without having basic knowledge is you're trading on pure luck. Luck doesn't always. Good, Vicky. It worries me. I hope you didn't take too big a knock because nobody should have done. Like a normal trade where it didn't really get the excitement you do, but you still would go in a normal trade with a risk involved. And it shouldn't have been stopped out unless they're not just looking into that. I don't know, Marius, right there. But you shouldn't have been stopped out if you put in the stop after you deleted the opposite order, which would be the long order at 1.0770. It hasn't reached that. So you're still in.
Yeah. Roger, I replied privately to Morris.
Okay, thanks. Maybe explain after we finish this session quickly, if you don't mind, privately as well. So I know next time. I'm the first to admit I don't live in denial lands. My tech knowledge is not what it really is. Yeah. Not going to put me chairman of the board of the software department anytime soon. Okay. Do we hold it? Yeah, I don't know. You got your stop loss in, stick with the strategy. Stick with the strategy, you might come right. Very rarely I'll say close it when you're in the trade, because I don't know, it could happen. I say close it, and then it comes shooting down or comes off, and now you're out with a loss when you could have made a profit. I don't know. You've got your strategy in, put in your stop loss of 1.0770. I don't know what price you got in, but I mean, you can put maybe a TP in if you like, on your open trade if you're in, if you're not relevant. Maybe put the how far is it down here? Yeah, you can make this TP at, sorry, make it 1.06. Just make it 1.0600 on the dot. So then you protect your stop loss TP. When if you want to close it, you can modify the stop loss anytime you want, or the TP. It's up to you. But I'm always very reluctant to say close it. I've occasionally have done it and it's been correct, but I'm pretty reluctant to do it in case it turns around and did you a favor. I don't know if Mark's still here. I did it once with him on Netflix. So I'm going to come off now. And he closed it on that, but he would have kept on up and he was long. He's a nice guy. He didn't come and shoot me, but I felt a bit bad about that. So I'd rather, you can feel like we've got hundreds of people, so everyone starts sending me pics. I can't do it, but for you, Vicky, go on, do it. Buy stock, sell stock. Are you in both trades? Hang on. Am I reading this correct? You're in long and short at the same time. I need an answer. No, okay, maybe I misread that. It looks like a buy 0.05 gives a blue figure and a sell gives a red figure. Strikes me you might be going long and short at the same time. You should only be in one. You should delete the other one. In fact, looking at information there, what you're telling me, the two don't sort of not in sync basically. 0.05 is correct. You've got one of 0.08. Why are you doing 0.08? Maybe it's the previous one. Don't you? We got that one from. Okay, you close the buy. Okay, so those are completely separate trades in your history. I presume that's what you mean then. Okay. So you're in the sell at the moment. Okay, PPI, check it. I posted the calendar to you, Tamila. Just check it out there. It should be on there. 2:30, but you should check it on your calendar. Posted on the chat line for you to all the same. Okay, so I'm on the same wavelength. I'm not sure I've got the right stick here. Is this your history? I think it's your history. Okay, so that was a previous trade. So you're open on. I get it now. Okay, so you're on that now. Okay. Okay, it's quite big, 0.08 on your account, to be honest. It should have been 5. Never mind it. That's what you've done. 70, yeah, but it's what's it down now? It's coming off. It's a little bit better now for you. I get it. Let it run. Have you got your stop in? Like I said, at 1.0770 and 1.0600 for your TP, and let the trade run. You might come right. Be careful of that, Vikesh. Quite normal. Quite normal. I hate to say it. If I've done that, probably more times you had hot dinner. But sometimes you got a big smile, and sometimes it comes back and bites. It's a pity, yeah. If it had been a big difference of figures, you would have had a big smile. That's the problem. Not second maybe too much on that. I'd be a bit hypocritical. I've done that. Yeah, after non-farms went well, but it might still work out for you. The bottom line is you went in with an open mind. You just put a number in and click and hope for the best. Okay, I've just got a moment or two to read the WhatsApp. Mr. From Mr. Signal. If you missed the signal, it's not a signal, it's a strategy trade. A straddle trade, not an actual thing like buy the euro dollar, sell gold or whatever it happens to be. It's a straddle trade, that's the differential. And the mechanics have to be shown on the Zoom. If you missed it, so far so good. It's not actually a big trade smash you missed it. So it's not a hassle. As long as when it's going nowhere, you cancel both orders. If you got pulled in on one, keep your fingers crossed it comes right in the end. At least you got a stop loss protecting. Okay, Vikesh, got to catch you at 4. Yeah, okay, I'll put in putting in a problem at all. Yeah. Roger. Trading support. Remember, I'm not an account manager, it's trading support. And WhatsApp, because it gets quite busy, I can't spend too long on chatting on the phone, much as I'd like to, no, because other guys want to speak and whatever. So just use the quick WhatsApp to keep in touch. If you're overseas, +27, you know the score. But not for demo accounts, guys. Any questions? There's quite a few left. Don't forget trading room. Don't forget trading room to enhance your skills. This is important. If you're busy, you can't make it. You go to the portal, go down to the bottom of the menu, and you'll see social media, YouTube. They're supposed to be recorded there. I don't upload them. I record them out there. And yeah, now put in the time and the date. So like 0930, 1403. So You don't look at the out-of-date ones. If you can live, it's better. You can interact like a forum and enhance those skills. Ask anybody who's regularly attending the trading room and ask their opinion. Hope they've gained value. That's the bottom line. And there's a fine of 500,000 rand for anybody who says you gain no value. No pressure here. No, but seriously, most people see. I get the feedback are gaining value, and that's the point. Because you all must have this. Just finishing off, everyone must have this size calculator. If you don't, not on your phone, on your laptop. Technical support in the live chat will give it to you. You don't want to go in with incorrect volumes. If you get stopped out, it should be handleable. It shouldn't be a train smash. If you did, you overexposed. Equity management, name of the game. Again, we do it next time. The next one's about a month's time for CPI, and whatever the first Friday in April is, non-farm payrolls, 2:30. We'll do a session there. I think a lot of guys did well last time. We'll be happy to do it again, and those guys want to join again. If you didn't make money on this one, we'll make it on the next one. We don't know. That's why we wait for the release. We do this straddle trade. Could be the same. It could be bigger, smaller. Just look at. I've posted a dollar index for you. You'd have it handy. It's very much indecision at the moment, jumping around. So you might get rest, you might not. I have no idea. It depends what the market's going to make of this. And for the moment, they're not quite sure themselves. If the world's market don't know, I'm sure as a lion, you don't know. Anyway, I hope you had a bit of fun anyway. And I hope you got some educational fun out of it. And don't forget, guys, you get a trading idea, it's doing well, don't forget to modify your stop loss. You don't turn a winner into a loser. Hi, Pete. Too late now. You took the sell. And what do you guys do? A lot of guys, some guys didn't get filled, so they cancelled both the pending orders. Some guys went in with the sell got filled, so I said, stop in. Don't have to close straight away, it might hold, who knows. So I suggest, Pete, you put a stop in at 1.0770 and a TP 1.0600. Keep your fingers crossed. You had some fun there, Friggy. I like that feedback. Good stuff. And don't forget, if you can afford it, Pete and company, get yourself a little router so you won't have these Wi-Fi problems. Mine cost me $250 a month for 50 gigs. That keeps you well. That's plenty. As long as you don't do Netflix and YouTube on it, so you won't have that problem. Last thing you want to do is miss out on £1,000 rand profit because you haven't got a router. Get yourself a router, then you won't have that problem. Where was your stop? Must have been fairly tight. Okay. Don't get your stop too tight, hey, Pete, but it might have done you a favour, Patrice. Just going forward. Don't get too tight a stop, but in this case, it might have done you a favor. That's too tight, far too tight. You should have got in around about 107.20. I don't know what you got in on, 25. 12 pip stop ain't cutting it. You need to give it. I don't stop loss below 50 really too tight. It's got to be 50 or above, unless you're range or scalping. Okay, so your stop's a bit tight, but it might turn out it might have done you a thing. It continues up, so who knows? But just a little tip there, guys. Don't trade too tight a stop. We call the up and down the noise, and we don't want to get stopped out in the up and down noise and it goes in the direction you want. You're not on board. You've got to risk to get. If you're too frightened to lose, you can't win. That's the problem with bloody life, eh? That's far too tight. Again, it might have done yourself a favor. That's far too tight a stop. Unless you're talking about, this is where the confusion comes. I'm talking about after the trade's been initiated, you put a stop loss in, not the buy stop, sell stop. That's a completely different ballgame. I'm not getting the wrong information here. Because you shouldn't have had a stop loss in it at 107.26. No problem, Sunday. I don't know where you got a 107.26 stop loss from. Far too tight. But I'm not talking the buy stop, sell stop. That's a completely different ball game. I put subsequently when one of the orders was filled and you deleted the other one, then you put a stop loss in. Okay. So I think 90 minute stakes. So we're talking sort of cross purposes. Okay. That's important as well. Okay, guys. Yeah. Oh well, okay. Then you're on the ball. That's fine. I have no problem with that. It's just mostly misunderstanding. That's we don't want that. Okay, fair enough. I'll be back again at 4 for the trading when you want to join me. That'd be great for a truncated version. Probably go about 5 or something, depending on the situation. And then we'll take it from there. Anything else before we wrap it up? You can put 80 if you've got a risk to reward there if you want. GP, there's nothing on it. I'm not teaching an engineer how to do the maths. You well know that. Okay, guys.
Sorry, Roger. Put it as a guideline, maybe for other guys.
I think
it's a fairly widespread.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's the problem with that is it's a very tight TP there. But never mind. You know what I'm saying? If they got in at short on about 107.15, then they got about a 35 pip TP with about a 50 pip stop loss. That's why I mentioned 1.06. But then again, the guy should realize that because they'll see it's too tight. Okay, anything else before we?
That was the typo, was 0608. My apologies. I normally put the point differently.
Yeah, that's the trouble. Yeah, you're dealing with fights when you're trying 0.734 was it, 1.07 was it, 0.75. Yeah, I hear you.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay.
See you later.
See you later. Okay, guys, it's 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Sorry, I'm going to wind this up now, and then yeah, I'll catch you back at 4 o'clock. Okay. Any questions? Join the trade room. We have it every day. Have it written down, and then we'll try and answer as we go along. Clinton, sort you out there, Morris. Okay, Fiona, keep us now. Cheers, mate.